got these gummy bears. They were on sale, and I didn't even want them. I was just buying some food, and the lady just told me at the counter, like, "Yeah, we got these gummy bears. They're on sale, only 99 cents." And for some reason, I was like, I'm sold. I don't know. I mean, I guess. I mean, just the way that she said it. I even laughed a little bit when I said, yeah, sure. Because, I don't know. I mean, sure. Why not? I mean, whatever. Anyways. So, I saw Jurassic Park recently in IMAX. It has been out for a little while. And by the time I post this video, it's probably already going to be about a month since it's been out. But it got me thinking about something, and you probably already tell from the title of what it got me thinking about. What the fuck happened to Jurassic Park? Okay? I want to talk about two things in this video. Mainly, what the fuck happened to Jurassic Park as a series, and really, I kind of want to touch on the fact that Jurassic Park has better CGI in it and better animatronics in it than pretty much every single movie that has come out since then. I really never thought about it until I saw Jurassic Park in IMAX, which was absolutely phenomenal. I mean, Jurassic Park is one of the greatest films of all time. I mean, it even has 90% on Rotten Tomatoes, which is a pretty big deal because it's hard to get a good rating on Rotten Tomatoes. In fact, it's always funny to go and see a lot of movies that you've always liked on Rotten Tomatoes, and you're like, yeah, okay, I guess Jack and Jill got like 3%, but I fucking love that movie. But anyways, Jurassic Park, excellent. I remember when I saw it when I was a kid. I got it when the VHS came out. It's probably about 94 by the time the VHS came out, but the movie came out in 93. And when I was a kid, I was terrified by it. I would run away from the TV crying, and literally I would go under a table, and my older brothers would, you know, always try to make me watch it because it's a cool movie. And it is a fantastic movie, and as I got older, I realized how much of a fantastic fucking movie it is. Okay, so here comes the sequel. It's called The Lost World, right? And I actually went to go see this one in the theater with my older brothers. But by this point, I wasn't scared anymore. I was, you know, getting to where it was 97, I think it was. So like Batman and Robin just came out. So yeah, I'll probably talk about that little thing later. But anyways, went to go see Lost World, and I loved it. I don't really remember what my older brother said about it, but I absolutely loved it. I thought it was fantastic. I was just like, 2 T-Rexes? That means double the awesomeness. You know, as a kid, you're very gullible. You don't really think rationally about, you know, fucking movies and the way that, you know, Steven Spielberg completely rehashed his plot and just added another T-Rex in there. But, yeah, so I enjoyed that. And the funny thing about The Lost World is, up until very recently, I still thought it was a good movie. And, you know, I didn't really watch it as an adult. I just kind of remembered it as a good movie. And I didn't think twice about it until I saw other people's reviews of it online. And a lot of people have bashed it, and I was just like, why are so many people bashing Lost World? It was, you know, it was a good movie. I mean, it wasn't as good as Jurassic Park, but I thought it was a fantastic movie. And as a kid, by the way, I thought it was way better than Jurassic Park, because it technically had a little bit more action or whatever in there. But, and then I went to go see Jurassic Park 3, and this was around 2001, so I was getting a little bit older, so I could kind of tell that it sucked, but I didn't know exactly how bad it sucked. And so now I'm an adult, and I have watched all 3 of these movies recently. Obviously, I saw Jurassic Park in IMAX. Yeah, it's fantastic. I cannot believe how well it has held up over the years. In fact, I can only really think of about one movie that I've seen recently that looks as good, if not better than it, and that is Avatar. I'm not the biggest fan of that movie, but I gotta admit that the CGI was done really, really well. And I'm pretty sure I'm forgetting a few movies, but not much, which is a big surprise, especially right after Jurassic Park came out, which was the whole 90s thing. I'm just gonna go ahead and say Godzilla 2000. Pretty much that and everything else that came out around that time, you know. Just checking to see if the fucking ice cream truck lady's coming, because she's a fucking whore, we all know. Anyways, so it took a long time for movies to look as good as Jurassic Park, and even nowadays it's still pretty rare. So I really, you know, and I thought, okay, I'm going to see it in IMAX, so now I'm going to actually see that it's not aged as well as I actually thought it did. It's just all nostalgia. You know, when I first saw it, I thought it was amazing. I thought it was real, and I'm just gonna have to face up to the fact that it's gonna look dated. Really, none of it looked dated. I gotta say, I mean, really, none of it looked dated as far as the CGI goes. The animatronics and animations and stuff like that. None of it looked dated. If you want to be super nitpicky, some of the clothing looked a little bit dated. The logo, the Jurassic Park logo, looked a little bit dated on the hard hats that the dudes were wearing, but it's just like classic at this point, and it still is a very, very good movie. It was still very exciting because I actually never saw the first one in the theater, so I got to actually hear, you know, how loud the T-Rex was. I could only imagine that I would just be completely shitting my pants as a kid because I was scared of it on a little teeny TV. But yeah, and then I've watched the Lost World recently as well, and how did Steven Spielberg, how did he have a fucking movie and a plot that was so good and so smart and so well done, and he just came to a sequel and he pretty much rehashed it, you know? Okay, so this movie, The Lost World, is focused around, of course, Jeff Goldblum and his daughter, who is unexplainably not white. And not to mention, in the first movie, he told Alan Grant that he had no kids. So either he was fucking lying, or this movie was just completely and just sloppily written, and which actually it was. I'm pretty sure that that's actually what happened and such. So as a kid, I didn't question that, but now it's like, okay, can you explain that? You know, and I've gotten people's responses of saying, well, maybe it's obviously his daughter with a different girl than his, you know, his wife in the movie. Because, you know, she's white and everything, and his daughter's, like, you know, black, and I was thinking, like, okay, yeah, maybe, but they don't explain it. They don't do anything to explain it. Just accept it. That's it, okay? And if you talk about it too much, you're racist. So, and then they mentioned the first movie didn't have any kids, so, yeah, there's that. But it starts out kind of good. No, it doesn't. No, it just doesn't. I'm still trying to pretend that it's good, but it's just not. So they go to a different island. Okay, yeah, it's a different island now, right? And there's more dinosaurs, and there's more all this stuff, and there's 2 T-Rexes this time. But really, as far as the storyline goes, it's exactly rehashing the first movie. Sure, there's not a theme park there, but there was like a second spot or whatever, and they go back to this island, and this time they have, like, guns, kind of, but not really. They're like tranquilizers, I think. So they're going into this situation. They know that it's dangerous, but they're not going to take real guns. Genius. So then they get to the island, and a bunch of nonsense happens, and there's, like, this weird animal rights message that is being sent throughout the entire movie, which is just weird. It doesn't really work with what's going on. I mean, like, there's 2 different sides. I don't really know. You know, Jeff Goldblum goes over there to find his wife and stuff, and then here comes InGen, and they're trying to capture dinosaurs to pretty much do what what's his face did in the first movie. Except the only thing that's really interesting about this entire movie is the fact that they were actually trying to make a park, Jurassic Park, not some freaking crazy like vacation spot / you know, theme park type thing where only really, really rich people can go to. They actually wanted to build the park in, I think it was San Diego, and they were already working on it. And we get to see it at the end. At pretty much the only original part in the entire movie, which is when they bring the T-Rex over and he gets out and he's pretty much walking around. You know, just, you know, suburban California, I think it was, San Diego. So that was amazing. And I remember as a kid, I was like, yeah, that's really, really good. I mean, the first, like, 2 hours of the movie is like the outtakes of the first movie. You don't really care about the characters. You don't really get or care about the animal rights thing because dinosaurs aren't fucking alive anymore. So the first 2 hours is yeah, it's garbage, and then at the last part, it's like, oh, you guys actually had a pretty good idea here. It would have actually been interesting if we would have just skipped all the garbage of them going back to the island and rehashing the first movie, and then, you know, just having it start with whoever the bad guy is. You know, he's bad guy with glasses. You know, just have him build the park in San Diego, and then Jeff Goldblum's like, wait, you're building the park here on land and you know, with people around here, that's not a smart idea, and you know, and Jeff Goldblum and stuff. And then from there, the whole last scene with the T-Rex walking around, you know, suburbia and all this stuff, but all those cool dinosaurs that you had on the boring island, all of that in suburbia, that's new. That's a new idea. I mean, even then, it's still kind of rehashing the, you know, the theme park thing, but it's a really, really good logical progression from the first movie. Didn't work on the island, so let's get this, you know, this other evil guy who's going to take old man's, I'll probably put it in the annotation, old man's idea, and then he's going to bring it here, and that's a little bit smarter, but hey, guess what? You still can't control life. Jeff Goldblum is right, obviously. Life finds a way. And it finds a way out of the park. I mean, that happens it's believable, really. I mean, and that's ridiculous because this is dinosaurs and stuff. But that was the amazing thing about the first movie. It was believable. So this is believable because fucking, like, you know, every few months, a fucking gorilla breaks out of a zoo and, like, beats up a dude. And yeah, he probably had it coming, but that would have been entertaining. That would have been awesome. Didn't happen. Movie's garbage. Third movie makes The Lost World look like fucking The Godfather. It is completely terrible. Steven Spielberg's not even around anymore. He's not even around to be lazy anymore and be like, yeah, let's rehash this and let's put it over there. He gets some fucking other random director who's like, you know what? I got a good idea. Let's go to a different island. Yeah, but here's the thing. We're going to bring back Alan Grant in order to pull everybody in, and we're going to get rid of the T-Rex, have some stupid fucking Spinosaurus that nobody really knows about or cares about come in, and different island, kind of a different dinosaur, bam! Jurassic Park 3, right there. Oh, and some pterodactyls, just because it didn't happen in the first couple of movies. There you go, that's it. Garbage, man, it's so terrible. That movie was obviously made for kids. And my favorite line of the entire movie is... So this time, okay, I'll explain a little bit, because I already know you guys fucking know what it's about. Alan Grant somehow gets thrown back into the island, which is now the third island, the third spot, and he's not familiar with these dinosaurs or whatever. He gets off the plane, and he hears a big roar, and everybody's like, ooh, T-Rex, because that's what happened in Jurassic Park 1 in The Lost World. And they were probably thinking, oh, there's 3 T-Rexes. I remember thinking that, by the way, when I was a kid. Oh, it's going to be 3 T-Rexes in this one. So they were like, oh, T-Rex, and Alan Grant literally said, no, sounds bigger. Like, that's the dumbest fucking shit ever. That's so kid talk, you know? Sounds bigger. Like, you have to actually be that blunt and say, no, this is bigger and more threatening than a T-Rex. And just to go ahead and to beat this dead horse, and probably actually the coolest scene of the entire movie, there is a T-Rex. They see the T-Rex, and I don't know why, but it just doesn't look as good in this movie. Like, they were lazy with it. They were just like, oh yeah, let's just get the old used head of the bad T-Rex from The Lost World, put some blood on his mouth, and he's like eating a dinosaur, and then he chases, and then he runs into the Spinosaurus. And then they fight a little bit, which was the coolest part, potentially, but it wasn't that good. It didn't last that long, and of course the Spinosaurus kills the T-Rex. Just in case we didn't get the message before, the Spinosaurus is way more threatening than the T-Rex. But anyways, so there's like this dude, I forgot what his name was. I know his name, it's weird, because I know his name in the movie is Kirby, but I don't know his actual name as a real person, but he's the worst thing ever in this movie. Spinosaurus, bad lines aside, rehashing the plot aside, this guy, no, I want nothing to do with him. Even as a kid, I was like, this guy's stupid. And he's the dad of the kid that got kidnapped that they have to now go rescue on this third island. Kind of sounds like Lost World. They got to go rescue somebody on this island. Except in this one, they completely left out any logical anything. It's all gone. There's no intent for anything here. Okay? There's nothing. Let's fucking make a movie, go to the island, fucking dinosaurs, bang bang pow pow, some fucking terrible characters, horrible plot lines, rehashing some of the old movies, and that's pretty much it, you know. Yeah, they got Spinosaurus, and then they had like this weird thing with the raptors being really, really, really smart, which they kind of touched on subtly in the first movie. How that crazy hunter dude was like, they were testing defense because they remember things, and then they had the whole kitchen scene, which was really cool in the first movie. And they're still, you know, oh, raptors are even smarter than we thought they were. Like I said, even as a kid, I kind of knew it was a little bit goofy compared to the first two movies, but I never really realized how terrible The Lost World was. But, yeah, another reason actually why I want to talk about this is because they are making Jurassic Park 4. And I looked this up and everything, and Steven Spielberg said that it was, yeah, it's really happening. Apparently, actually, it's coming out 2014, June, so next summer. But there's really no information beyond that. There's no storyline, there's no... I think they got the director, who I'm not familiar with, but I did actually see one good thing, one glimmer of light. Because until this, it actually looked terrible. The screenwriters, or at least one of the screenwriters, is one of the screenwriters. I think there's two actually. There's a couple, and they're the same people that wrote the screenplay for Rise of the Planet of the Apes, which was absolutely fantastic. Actually, that is one of the only movies that I've seen since Jurassic Park that actually looks that good. So that's a good sign. And logically, you have to, you know, hope and think that, you know, the Jurassic Park team realizes that Lost World, and especially Jurassic Park 3, were not that good. They need to get back to making, first of all, a good storyline, you know, a good plot, and second of all, good characters that we care about. Because the thing that made Jurassic Park 1 so good was not, you know, T-Rex, it looks so amazing, it looks so real, but, I mean, that is fucking fantastic, especially for the time. But it was how Steven Spielberg used the CGI and the animatronics. It was how he built up to it. You know, the plot line mattered. We cared. We were invested. That's what they need to do with Jurassic Park 4. But anyways, I gotta take off. Let me grab a gummy bear. You know. Let me know what you guys think about Jurassic Park. Do you care about it at all? Do you love The Lost World? Do you love Jurassic Park 3? Do you agree with me? Are you looking forward to Jurassic Park 4? Do you want some gummy bears? Because here you go, they're only 99 cents on sale. Anyways, Jurassic Park 4, yeah. I will see you guys later.